All right, good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for April 17th, 2023. So we rolled out the Owl Wisdom Group project yesterday. We got the first 50 essays from our Koala staff support. It sits on top of Chat GPT-4. It adds in real-time analysis of Google, YouTube, Amazon keywords and trends, and we review the essays before they're done. So we've got the first 50 posted inside the Owl University Wisdom Project. That's lifetime access to that course. I think I will be setting up a weekly work in progress for folks that take that course, the first cohort that takes it, and we'll see how that goes. I posted a couple sample essays on it today that were just flat astonishing. I asked it to do a deep dream interpretation. I prepared myself mentally for Socratic questioning, and I found it to be extremely helpful with the very first nightmare that I ever had as a kid that I can remember. Has plagued me for years, and I developed a technique to manage it. But the interpretation of it helped me come face to face with something that's been troubling me for over 50 years. And I found it to be a profoundly moving experience, and made that part of what will be my public reflection learning journal in that workshop in Rizuku, the Owl Project. I intend to do periodic self-assessment, self-reflection with my AI coach, if you will, and that'll be a public, transparent journey of my own self-work, for what it's worth. The folks who signed up for the Founders Project are going to have access to their own monthly production of essays based on their early commitment to support the project. And we rolled out some of that information for them. And I think a lot of those guys are going to be like donating their articles to that project as well. But I expect we're going to have 40 to 50 monthly essays in there. It's going to be like a monthly journal focused on individual performance improvement, executive decision making, trading, risk management, process management, all those kinds of things. That's what it looks like it's shaping up to be. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the swing portfolio. I have us here on 30-minute charts. And we're starting, as always, with Alcoa. Clear the deck. There we go. So where are we in Alcoa? We've got a longer-term kind of Kata 2 channel continuing to develop. And even this last little bit today felt pretty good. We had a one position short swing yesterday, an intraday that we took. Today, this is the, let me make that so you can see that a little easier. I'll put that on all the charts. And today we took it as a Kata 2 and a PSAR flip entry with a standard risk box, and it closed pretty well at the high of the day, and I have good hopes for that. It's got to clear the peak of the RL30, which is about that same price level, about 41.40 looks to be the key price level. But we've got about a half an hour in hand with a little bit of a cushion. So that one feels pretty good. AI, the software company, basically the same kind of pattern. We have this has been holding support here. We've got a declining. So I was willing to take that one on the PSAR flip on a tight channel, tight wrist box. I felt good when it crossed that relative trend line, and I felt better when the spring turned to summer, and it closed pretty well. And we're holding 2R overnight, and it's cleared this hump, and so the next target would be here at 24, which would be another 2R. So that would be 4R. This is where I'll think about adding a second position, and I will add a second position if it gets there. So AI is cautiously optimistic. Caterpillar, this is one that I thought hard about here. I like the structure of all this Kata 2 action here. It was so quiet today that I feel like I wanted to wait to see it break above, call that 227, and be ready to take that. This was not strong enough today that I wanted to hold it overnight. The fact that it made an early run and then couldn't recover made me worry about maybe it's this. So I just give it a day to continue to cook, and if it breaks through that, I will be long at 227. Check or hold. Cliff. This was the weakest of the metals today. Yesterday we closed that stop and reverse short. Today it really did nothing but get a really tight price box here. So the fact that it did not fail further, it did not fail, suggests that tomorrow it might do this. So if it can break out above, let's call it right there, about 1740, I'll take it here even before it breaks above the daily high. Once it gets above that, this is not resistance at all. We don't even get resistance till about here, till about 18. So that's about a 60-cent performance box, if you will. And that's about a 20-cent risk box. So that's a 3-to-1 reward to risk. And by the same token, if this breaks down tomorrow, then the next target is here, which is 1675, and that would be $1 on the 20-cent risk. That's a 5-to-1 if it breaks down. So I'm ready to take that in either direction tomorrow. This would be a really strong sign if it could go from here, because this acted as a base right here around 1680 and had 3 legs up. It made one leg down and tried to go but couldn't. Second leg down and then couldn't fail further. So I'm taking that one as a really strong potential for a support. And that's actually the pattern I want to see. I really want to see it get above here and go. And then I will treat that whole pattern as a Kata 2. And the MACD is postured in a reasonable position here. So I'm liking all that. It's fallen so far that it actually has a lot of room to recover. Yeah, the only the PSAR flip dot there, that just says that what we have really is a very tight risk box. So if we're like this and this, that's really the indecision zone right there. So any breakout above from that is going to be again a PSAR flip, and if it goes here, it's just a continuation to the downside. So there's a strong move in both directions. I really like that one as an opportunity for day one trading tomorrow. This is CVS. I'm really liking these guys, man. That was a nice, strong. This has been a strong SSC, and today was a PSAR flip. Winter turned to spring. The PSAR flipped. I took a tight risk at the edge of the dragon rather than the full risk at the bottom of the RL30, and that thing just stormed north. It turned to summer here and closed very well. Now all it's got to do is get above, call that 76.60, and above the 5-day high, and then that thing's off to the races. I really like that one. At the first sign of strength tomorrow, I will add a second position because it has cleared that peak, and we've got a little over 2R in hand. So that one looks strong. Dish. Basically the same pattern. Long slide from the 5-day high. Cashed a nice short yesterday for almost 3R. And then today the PSAR flip, standard risk. This is just oscillating, and I'll just take this trade all day. As long as you want to do that, I'm ready to take it. Make me happy. That's a little over 1R in hand. Devon Energy, we tried the long on this one first on the breakout above, and I was late exiting and took a half an hour, waited too long. I had a belief on it. Took the stop and reverse on the PSAR flip, and now it's back to the zero line. So we'll see. Tomorrow, this is such a long grind up that a little bit of a failure, say back to here, would be absolutely normal, and that would give me almost a 3R. And then if that fails, second position coming to here, which would give me another 2. So I like that. The upside's easy to see. Electronic Arts, classic, caught a 2. Leg 1, missed leg 2. There's the 3-day decline. Intraday PSAR flip. If it was going to fail big back to here, it had a chance. It did not. It reversed. PSAR flip. Long, 1R in hand. And all of these, anytime it's going to break above the 30-day high, I'm already thinking about adding that second position regardless. That's routine. Emerging markets, COTA 2 entry longs, intraday, standard. Ethereum, I missed the COTA 2. This is the third run it had 1, 2. Now this is the third shot at it right at the close of the day. Because that trades overnight with Ethereum, I don't want to be vulnerable to that. But if tomorrow, as soon as it gets into this open territory, especially above 11, I'm piling on. Mexico, COTA 2 entry, typical. Brazil. This is a really tight squeeze coming in here. I love this. Give this one more day, and then tomorrow I'm ready to take that one. Between the PSAR boxes, it's only 20 cents. But it's postured for a nice move up of 1, 2, 3R to here. And then the downside is easy to see. It'll go as far as you want. And if it breaks below here, whew, coming all the way back to here, that's a massive trade. So I don't want to have a directional bias on that one at all. You would think that from this great big gap and a powerful move up in 2 days, it's had 3 days to continue. It did not. But it also didn't fail further. So this is a perfect compound critical state, range compression. The breakout from that's going to be large. Very high priority. Intel, I'm just stalking it. No trade. International paper. Missed the COTA 2, or did we? No, we got it. It was late to draw in there. I thought I got that. Yeah, so this one is routine. Here's this. This is not. This was not a COTA 2 here because this would have just been an SSC. So I'm not in any hurry. But when it made this little COTA 2 move in resumption, it did not fail back. In fact, it was going up. So we took it, standard risk. It closed pretty well, 1 hour in hand, and I'll add a second position if it clears the 10-day high. It's got to get through all this. But we got 1 hour in hand. We're happy to watch it. IYR, we closed the one position short. We tried the long, it scratched. Took the PSAR flip and held it, but then today it gapped up, so we cashed it. PSAR flip, we got long, standard risk. I like this little COTA 2 right here. And this closed pretty well. So let's go. KRE, beauty. We had the long on this one a couple days ago. I missed the short completely. Today, intraday, it held support. I'm treating this as an SSC from here. But if you go back long enough, you can argue why that's a COTA 2. And you can see it broke out of the Red River right here. It's above the zero lines. So we're liking that. And then I took the second entry here because we were holding 3R and it cleared the emerging dragons. So why not? So we're holding 2 positions with a total of 5R because you get 4 on this one and 1 on that one. So 5R net, 2 positions. The reason I decide to do that is it has completely left behind all of these resistance. This is all to the upside. McDonald's yesterday took the COTA 2 at the PSAR flip, and it ran up, held support, and is continuing. That feels like a COTA 2, so I like it. I'll add a second position above the 30-day high. That's long and strong. Will not short that one. Merck has been so quiet that the chance to get this tiny little end of day COTA 2 in, why not? Marijuana, a nice quiet COTA 2. This is like the second COTA 2 right here, and it broke above, and the PSAR's been insisting, so why not? And it closed right here, so we're holding like a no lose plus dinner for 2. This is one that I will stop and reverse on. I won't add a second position till it gets above 560. Let's see, MPS. Let me go back one. Now, this one, if you take a look at this one, that's why I'm not getting out of McDonald's. For those of you who've been playing along, you've seen what we saw about McDonald's. This thing is just crushing. So there's no way I'm getting out of this. And until I raise my stop, my stop on this one is right here. This thing, I'm giving it 5 days. And just go as far as you're going to go in 5 days. If I get above 2R in this thing, awesome. And if it gets above the 30-day high, this thing is so far to the north that nobody wants to sell this thing. There is no sign of panic selling in this guy at all. Let me try to get the longer term on this one. If you look at the 3-day on this one, McDonald's is at an all-time high. Nobody in their right mind will sell McDonald's. And it took me this long to figure out I needed to be long. But I would put 10% of my long-term portfolio in this thing and just forget about it for 10 years. I mean, you know what I mean? McDonald's, for crying out loud. That will be the last publicly owned restaurant to go out of business in America. If there's only one restaurant chain left in the world, in 20 years, it's McDonald's because America. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I'm not getting out of this one. Let's see, back to clean energy. I thought hard about the Kata 2 here, but I had a lot of other exposures today, and this has been such a choppy one. I really want to see it get above here. Was not persuaded. Rivian. I probably missed a Kata 2 here, but my thought was let's give it, let's not take the overnight risk on that. But if it starts the intraday, I would rather start this early in the day with an entry right here after it gets rid of the overnight gaps and all that, whatever. And I could be short here, but I don't want to wait 16 hours with position on. So let's just see. Now, if it gets above, say, 14, then you know this thing is clear, and then it has to get above 1440 to really go. So there's a lot of resistance baked in overhead. So waiting an extra day to try it tomorrow is pretty easy. Treasuries just have completely missed this long slide right here. To be fair, we've been trying a lot of longs in the equities, so that's the older side of the trade. I got back into that heartbreaker of Tesla once again, and all I can see, on the world's most important stock, is this, continuous tease with the Kata 2. It just hasn't gotten out, been able to get above this hump yet. Like this move got rejected right there. But because of the rising highs, that feels like it's coming to a critical point, and like a coiled spring, tomorrow I think it's going to go. I'm trying to talk it into it. And then if it gets above the 5-day high, then the next resistance is way up here. So this is where I add a second position, and that'll be 2R in hand based on that risk. So I'm loving Tesla to the upside. Finally, U.S. Steel. I think I got this one today on like the other metals, we got stuffed in the channel here last week. It had a little run and reversal, and this morning I took the PSAR flip the usual way, tight risk, holding 2R, and this is like a quadruple top now. So if it gets above here, it's just going to go. And the fact that this failure really was just kind of tactical and reversed right away, that's a positive sign. And now it feels like this is the primary move here. So let's see another move like that in parallel starting here, and let's go. All right, we'll go to the trade. Let's see. Come on now. Okay, the sniper trade of the day. This is a 3-minute chart on CVS. So here is this is yesterday's close, or Friday's close, I mean. Gap down opening, sold off to the low. OR3, the next bar goes up. So we're long, standard risk. Second position to our battle drill, all out. So 3R on the first one, 1R on the second one, total of +4. Kata 2 reentry, quick loss. Kata 2 reentry, Quick loss. That's a stop and reverse because I looked at this as a here was a high, here's a lower high, here's a third lower high, and it failed right away. And that was dang near a collapsing dragon. And now my play is back down to here. Quick scratch, stop and reverse. Now I treat that as a it's almost a kata two. I mean, technically it's not because these are lower lows. So, truth be told, you should think of that as an SSC. I wouldn't be offended if you said, well, yeah, but really, this was just a tactical pause. And here's really the support level and the previous support level, and the previous strong trend is up. So it's really a kata two. Okay, if you want to win that bad, that's fine. You can do that. Notice that you get the long slide here, and then spring into the Red River, out of the Red River, and now it's coming into summer. Second position, grinding higher, and it turned out to be a nice grind. It's harder to get more orderly than that. There is no selling pressure to be seen. This is a pharmacy, you know. So there's another 3 on this one and another 1 on that one. So this one is +4 and that one is +4 and this is -0.5 and that's -0.5. So that's +7, as nice as you please. And oh, by the way, that's what allows us to take this one on CVS to also be holding the swing trade from early on. And that thing is holding 3R on the swing trade. So CVS been very, very good to us. All right, we'll take a look at the traders now. Oops, wrong one. There we are. Okay, here's Bill. And this is his sniper on U.S. Steel, and he's trading the 10 minutes. And he gets the reversal above a rising dragon. That's his standard entry, standard risk. This is where he would add, you would think, 2R, but he exits here for 0.9, finds support at the PSAR, reverses, crosses above the dragon, standard reentry, adds a position here. It could have failed. It did not, so he gets long. It all rolls over, and he brings in 1.8 and 0.8 to accompany his 0.9. Here there's the RL10 crossing the baby dragon. It's through the dragon, breaks through the dragon, PSAR flip, auto short, standard risk. It was almost ready for the 2R battle drill, but starts to reverse. And at the baby dragon, he just cashes 1.8. As nice as you please. I almost prefer it to fail rather than going to 2R and then reversing, because now you get a nice 1.8 on a single position, lowest stress trade ever. Now he gets a 1, 2, 3 reentry, enters long, standard risk. It just moves straight out. He's keeping that on at 1.5 in hand for tomorrow. So he nets 5.2. and he has an open risk of plus 1.5 on that one. So looking good. So the 10-minute is very tradable. This one looks pretty strong too in terms of the that nice little percent R, and it's still in the spring, so it still has room to go. No, I'm sorry, it just went in. Yeah, it just started into the spring. This is Hamad. Yeah, let's see what we got working here. So he's got the pound dollar on the 30s. Oh, my brother said, hey, that 2-hour battle drill was not triggered on the first one because his rule is that the candle has to close. And that sounds logical to me. So he has, this is such a tight wrist box here. You can see how the Z3 lines have pinched. They actually start to expand right here. And so he gets as it breaks out of the river with the wrist box, it breaks above Z3 and comes back, and he says, let me just cash a little bit just because. Why not? If this thing is going to go, it should go right now. The fact that it starts to reverse, get paid for taking the risk. Oh, I don't agree with this. I hope that you are always too conservative with banking profits. You know, this had a 3-bar run up and then could not make a new high and is rejecting, and you decided to cash about 0.5 compared to the risk box all day. And there's still plenty of room for this to go tomorrow. I mean, after this long slow channel, there's still room for that to go tomorrow. That's fine. Constantine, this is the gold U.S. dollar on the 3s. That's his bread and butter, and so he's been stalking this nice tight wrist box and the previous wrist box, and when that all breaks, he's short, and he only needs that much risk for that hypothesis. And I might suggest either here or after this reversal, probably here, there may be a second position available. I really like that one. But he brings in 6.5. This is last week's low, and it comes into here. So if this breaks tomorrow, it'll be a big move. But if it doesn't break, then it will probably find support at the low, and he's going to want to be long. So why not just ring the bell for 6.5 and then just enjoy the day? Woj with another outstanding day, +1 in Devon. I think he he was given it a lot of room to go, and he get out of it with a no lose plus dinner for 2. Tries a re-entry that stops and reverses and crushes it for 1.7. Micro loss, total of 1 for Devon. Tesla gets a scratch, makes bank, waits for it to cross the dragon and PSAR flip, scratch, re-entry is key, crushed it, scratch, crushed it. Look at the re-entries on this one. I mean, that's how you do it. So to go back to Hamad's point, I don't think taking that early exit to make bank on 0.5 is exiting too early. I would make that part of your trading rule and get paid 0.5. How many times have you made minus 0.5? Make 0.5. So 4.9 on Tesla. Scratching A lot of chopping around inside here. Doesn't get the fat part of the curve. So just scratches on U.S. Steel. Make some micro on Nvidia. To be honest, that's where he's making big bank on Tesla. So 6.1 net for the day. Off to a good start. Tim is back on the threes and feeling a lot more relaxed after his other excursion. There was big opportunity here. I think, no, he was looking at the R3, didn't take it, took it. Now we see how that is. He's just using that as a signal that this thing is in play. It found support. It did not fail further. So that's an SSC all day and makes a little bit. But let's watch that one, especially when it's that far into the day and makes a nice rollover. And even if we only get this move, that's nice. 0.6 on Newmont Mining gets paid, gets paid, gets paid, gets paid. Nice as you please. 3.3 on Tesla. Quick scratch. Observes the collapse. PSR flip, nails it. Great exit, great reentry. Even though that doesn't pay, stays with it, gets paid. Stops in reverse, gets paid. You can't play it any better than that. Great job coaching and building his professional practice. I like this short, except I like it here. But I can see waiting for the collapsing dragon. I would try to get out maybe one bar sooner. I like that idea. I like the short better. But I also don't mind staying out of Crocodile River, so that's a reasonable effort. Hamad, let's see. Now we are on the threes. Oops, let me put it in yellow so we can see. So we're in the Qs, 3 minute. Yeah, I don't mind taking that. I think the short, yeah, you got to get out of it right there. That's reasonable. I would also consider that a strong short side entry here because you've got a failed breakout in a sideways choppy river and it just broke below the collapsing dragon and it's got two lower lows. So I think that's a short you can take. Now on that one, you would probably want to take that exit right at the edge of the river. I think you would want to take that exit because you had three strong bars down, then a 1, 2, 3 exit, and then you would end up making that much on a risk of that much. So that'd be about 1R. And then when this cannot get through the descending Bollinger Band mean, then this becomes a big time short right here at the PSAR flip, and which is also a collapsing dragon. And then you get this trade, and there's your PSAR flip. That's a good long shot right there, so I'm liking that. Start putting your R multiples in as a discipline and totaling up your daily activity. I like this short. We got kind of a descending lows when you bring those over, and it crosses below the Bollinger Band mean. I like that short. I might have gotten out in here. As long as it was underneath the Bollinger Band mean, you're okay, and then it times out for a no lose plus dinner for 2. Not bad. Pardon me. Alrighty. Bullish quiet is good for the long side. This is pretty strong NDX work here. Green bullish, that's good. ADX is getting stronger to the long side. That's good. We are still in risk on the risk Z. This is still nice. Coca-Cola, JP Morgan, Goldman, Diamonds, and 3M. It's hard to believe that Merck and McDonald's are not in there. They're not in the Dow, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they are. Yeah, they are. Okay. Handful of auto framers. Strong moves here in Morgan and Coke. And Goldman. So it's that finance. XLF is the finance sector. FAS is the 3X ETF on the finance sector, the triple leveraged, for those of you playing along at home. The weakness in XOM tells me maybe Devon has a chance to collapse tomorrow. See how that one goes. The ETFs, a couple auto framers in gold and treasuries, and treasuries made a breakdown. And on the upside, agriculture, 2120. Dang nabbit. I had that months ago at 20, and it was just felt like dead money. I redeployed that money, but my spider sense was probably 3 months early. I played it as like a inflation hedge, but it just never really followed through. Other than that, no patterns. Handful of auto framers with the standard framing data here for those of you swing trading one day at a time. Quite a lot of pinches today, which is reflective of how compressed today's range was. And when you see this many of the indexes, like you got diamonds, the spiders, small caps, tech, and treasuries, all have squeezed so that it's better than 2-to-1. That tells you the whole market is pausing and ready. So today was not a selling day. Today was a gathering strength for a big burst move. And I love the fact that McDonald's is on here. I may just pile on that thing out of all proportion and out of all sense of restraint. So I got to note that in myself when I sense greed. It's also get the smell of, I have the scent on it to put my coyote, channel my inner coyote on that one. These are the winners and losers in relative strength. The ones that are the most below, they're RL 270. There's a finance. Caterpillar is always interesting to me. The relative strength winners are the ones that I'm interested in right now. NVIDIA and Intel and Microsoft. When tech goes, those are going to explode. Hey, I'll tell you what, you need to just buy and hold Microsoft forever. They've got over 50% of the AI applications locked up. And so they're going to win the application of AI game for corporate. And they're crushing everybody else that's making apps in terms of integrated AI. Boy, are they smart right now. Wow. Let me go look at Microsoft again. Pardon the digression. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's the 9-day. So we're just going to do a quick time series on. That's just so good. It's breaking above the 150-day high, and this thing is going to go back to 350. That's plus $70 on 280. That's a 25% gain you're looking at. And when that breaks above 350, entries down in this area are going to look smart. Now, this was where it really looked smart at 250. So that's you only gave up $20 risk. Man. That's all. Actually, that's all you need to see. But Ken, I want to look at the 3-day. Okay. 3-day. Consistent COTA 2s. And now it pulled back to here. As soon as it, just buy it. Hold your nose. You know, put a $20 stop on it. Just buy it right here and put your stop at 270. Thank me later. If I'm right. If I'm wrong, just forget that I made that prediction. Snipers and Godzillas. We got a raging CTLT on this one. This is a 2-day in play monster of a move. You are going to like this one. This thing is lava hot. So the daily chart on this rascal. So you can see he's at the bottom of his 150, 30, and 10. And that's why he's a Godzilla. And look at the size of the 10-day. That's the 10-day range. That's also the 5-day range. So that 5-day volatility is almost as big as the 30-day. And it's like half of the 150-day. So you can't get more volatile than that. And now notice that this thing has gotten crushed from 65 down to 45. So that's a minus 33% move in 2 days. But it's also holding right here where the last time it made that beautiful run. So nobody knows what's going on, except if we zoom in and look at this thing. It had a chance to fail further, but gave us a doji with really long tails. How about you just say that? And how about you just say, if it breaks above this, I buy it. And if it breaks below that, I sell it. But I think that's, you can make that argument. It's had 2 days to fail further, but it couldn't. I'll take it. And if nothing else, if you insisted, the conservative entry is just right here. Buy it at 50 with a $5 risk. Or if you're me, $2 risk. And then if that fails, get short right there. So I like a $2 risk. Now go to the 30-minute. Beauty. That thing had all day to fail these last 2 days, and it didn't. This was one last little gun run right here to see who they could shake out of it, and they bought it back on a 1, 2, 3. Watch that thing go tomorrow. Thank you, King of the Monsters, for bringing this to our attention. You could get like a 3-week series of trades out of this one just from the trade frame that we looked at that's triggered by that. Only the VIX and a quiet Godzilla in the tactical symbol set. Here's a couple STT, since we're in the mood. Oh boy. That should just make your heart sing out with joy. Oh, yes, sir. That has recovered. Support, trigger, just started. Watch this thing climb back to 80. Even if it gets halfway to 76, trade that with a $2 risk. Easy. Thank you, volatility. Since we're in the mood, knitters and BK. Yes, sir. Same thing. I leave it to you. Yeah. The same one. It's the same pattern. What's not to love? They closed it at the high of the day. That's Bank of New York. It voted up. Watch this thing get back. How fast will it get to 46.50? And you could use 50-cent risk. And that would give you 44 to 46.50. That's 5-1. Easy. And then any failure, obvious short. Second position if it falls below here. Just like downtown. And we've seen that in the most volatiles already. And standard sniper auto framers from TC2000. And let's see what we got here. So we are sorting it by the risk reward. So these are, the higher up the stack you go, the more favorable it is for a long side swing trade. Now notice you got Cliff is the worst metal, Alcoa, and US Steel is actually pretty good. So that's actually, all other things being equal, US Steel is a relative strength winner. Devon Energy is really doing well, but this was that fade today at the top, and that's why I'm willing to take that short, because it may be overbought and starting to collapse. But then notice that all of the techs are in favorable conditions here. NVIDIA, which was positive today, Texas Instruments, and Intel, all were positive for the day, but they are still well positioned on a risk reward basis and much better than the broader market. So they are still relatively advantageous on the swing. As is tech itself, the Qs. So I think those have a chance to move tomorrow. That's almost enough for today. Notice the strong recovery starting to manifest in the banks. They got punished, but now are already come storming back. Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and Merck very, very strong. McDonald's for the win. Microsoft for the win. Even Tesla's trying, and we got the swing on that one. So let's come on, Tesla. Trading value from the frogs here. Tesla, marijuana, clean energy. There's your NVIDIA, Texas Instruments, and Intel. All looking pretty good. Combination of strong range percentages on average and very strong frog quality numbers for consistency. That's how you get the trading value ratio. And then we rank it from best to worst. Of the top 20 in our stack is 60. Okay. All right, that's everything we got for today. Strongly recommend the Owl Wisdom Group course for the long run. You get lifetime access to that, and it's amazing already. Take good care, and we shall see you tomorrow.